On this week's show, we're discussing Beast of Reincarnation reviews, EA has been bought out, what is the future for Bioware, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is about a preview on Netflix. All that and much, much more in this week's GamerGuild Podcast. Good game, everyone, and welcome back to the GamerGuild Podcast, your weekly show where we round up all the week's video game stories and news for your listening or viewing pleasure right here on youtube.com/GamerGuildTV and up there in the digital clouds on your podcast preference of choice. Podcast players for this week are myself, returning from a holiday, and the techie teacher, Mr. Tom.
Hey, what's up, mate? How you doing?
I'm good. Last time we were on a podcast together, technically we weren't because you've rounded out a show for me.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I jumped in last minute.
Yeah. I was stood over there though.
That's fine. We all three of us made an appearance on a strange setup of a podcast, but hey,
it's when
I got to see.
It's when we're going
to see the battle station in its works.
Actually, full on recording when you turned to pick me up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, how have you been?
I'm all right. I'm just suffering from a bit of the lurgy at the moment, a bit of typical man flu, midsummer flu. But other than that, I'm not too bad. I've got a few interesting projects on the go at the moment. Not much in terms of gaming currently. I'm still very much in my Baldur's Gate b-hole at the moment, but I'm not really playing much else beyond Baldur's Gate currently. Just very much on a Dungeons and Dragons kick at the moment.
That's fair. Your voice is sounding way better. You sent me a voice note, was it like yesterday? And it's like, oh God, how are you going to even be able to record this weekend?
Oh mate, honestly, yeah, it was hit or miss yesterday. We were supposed to record this episode last night, and I just had to send a voice note yesterday where I was just literally, basically whispering into the phone.
You sound fine today. That's the main thing.
Good. Yeah. Glad to hear it.
To be fair, I'm
on the recovery.
I think we've all done podcasts and stuff where we can barely speak. It's like, I'm going to sit there and talk like this for the show. Chris, you do all the work.
Nature of the beast, isn't it? You know, never missed an episode. Missed an episode to date. So here we are. Let's crack on. Even
last week's episode, me and Chris recorded in advance because we were both on holiday at the same time. I was flying home the day he was flying out, so there was no overlap where there was potential to record.
Chris is still out there on holiday, but
is he back,
you're back from the Sunseeing stand.
Is he back now or is he home? I'm not. He said he wasn't available this weekend. Either way,
he wasn't available. Yeah. So we're going to assume that he's not back. Well, I'm going to assume he's not back.
He's still on his holidays. Whether he's in the country or not is to be decided later. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we do have a great show lined up for you. But before we get into it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you're kept in the loop of all the fantastic content here at GamerGuildTV. I was going to say such as whatever live video Chris is recording. That's what I usually go to, but he's being off. We're being off. So every single Monday this podcast goes. Chris has got his retro hunt series, and we've also have the occasional Let's Play or live stream. I haven't actually done anything in a while. I just haven't had a chance. And you know when there's never been that game that was goes, I want to record something on that.
Yes. I'm in the process of trying to find some time for people who are watching this episode. I'm just so people are aware, like contextually. If you're an old listener, you'll know who I am. If you're a new listener, I was back as one of the original hosts with yourself and Chris quite some time ago. But Chris has mentioned before, you've mentioned before about kids, etc., life getting in the way. But I'm finding myself at that point now where I'm starting to get a little bit more time. So I'm looking to try to do something. So I'd be interested if anybody who's watching out there has any ideas for things you might want to see. Hit us up down in the comments, and maybe I'll be able to get onto that for you.
Yeah, I mean, well, since we started the show, but all that way back with Sounds of Sadie, you've had 2 kids, so that's
2 children.
I can imagine that being quite time consuming. I struggle for time, and I have 0 children.
And here I am now 5 years later at this point. It's amazing that 5 years has flown by, to be honest with you.
I can't believe like we're 6 years into this podcast. It's like there was when Chris first pitched the idea, it was like, will this even last a month? Like,
we're older, we're wiser, and we're far more just angry at the world, is what I would say. Especially with the way that news seems to be going.
Yeah, I think the anger's justified. Like, you try to keep things optimistic, but then the video game industry goes, you want to be optimistic? Fuck that.
True that.
Yeah. Have you been playing anything interesting, Tom?
No, like I say, for the most part, for Josh's birthday, which has passed a couple of weeks now, we bought him Star Fox on the Switch 2, so I've been getting my Star Fox on, which that's been quite fun, to be honest with you. I know I'm a little bit late on the bandwagon with it.
Not that late. Speak, I haven't even got Switch 2, so I can't comment.
There we go. But no, it is worth the hype that it's been getting, and the reviews do it justice. It's fun, it's it's fresh. It's obviously the same take on Star Fox as it has been for decades
since
now,
Star Fox, the original Star Fox. Then they remade it for the 64. Then they've remade it for the 3DS.
But do you know what, Richie? It's still enjoyable, and it's still just that on-rail shooter experience that just hasn't really been sort of done again since. And I am hoping that this does open up opportunity for further Star Fox and not just more remake bullshit, because there is definitely an opportunity there, and Nintendo must realise that, especially after the Mario Galaxy movie.
I think what the need for Star Fox truly is a proper sequel to this game. Forget everything that's come before, different timeline, different universe shit.
Yep.
This is a new start point, and you can either go backwards in time and we're going to do a game with James McCloud and basically what the events that a prequel to Star Fox, or we're going to do a direct sequel. But they tried to turn, I think, wasn't it on the GameCube, into like a 3D action adventure game.
Yeah,
and it's like, no,
adventures.
That's just people keep going back to this version of Star Fox for a reason. Keep it as a relatively low cost on-rail shooter. You can have other elements in there, but ultimately you want to keep that essence of what makes the game fun.
The thing is, and that's exactly what it is, it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? It's arcadey, and I think that's something that we don't get a huge amount of these days outside of the Indiescape. You know, we don't get arcade games so much anymore that allow you to just drop in, drop out, and just enjoy just a couple of hours of blasting through a campaign, having multiple different options, different endings, challenges to do along the way, and just generally just having options to mess around with, almost like with the old... do you remember the old like Game Genie stuff and cheat code engines and stuff that you used to be able to put onto your cracked games, where it'd be like, I'm going to play this with unlimited lives and so on. Just add that bullshit to arcade games, because then you can make it almost party mode without it needing to be party mode.
007 for N64, unlockable cheats, unlockable characters, not DLC crap, just make things unlockable in the game, like, as a way of extending the game by doing certain challenges and stuff in it. But I feel like the industry is actually almost re-primed for a game like Star Fox to be on rails again. The way the industry went was... everything was getting bigger, everything was getting more dynamic, more open world for a long period of time, and everything was pushing to be that $60 AAA experience. And then anything less than $60 was usually a reflection of quality.
Yeah. Where
now things have pushed further into $70, $80 at the top end, you can get a highly polished quality game coming in around the 40 mark, and people go, you know what, I'll have a bit of that. It's going to be a smaller experience, but I'm paying for a smaller experience rather than paying for reduced quality.
You say that again, but Claire Obscure Expedition 33, that was on a discounted price rather than being top dollar, so, it is possible. And that's probably more of a reflection on it being an indie studio, so that's technically an indie game. If that was the same game published by Sony, is going to be 70, 80 quid. Absolutely. But I think with the age that we're currently in at the moment, with the prices of everything going up, I think it just takes a strong-willed individual. And I say strong-willed individual or strong-willed team because, you're always going to have kickback from your shareholders, the people who want to make the top dollar and always want to literally milk the cow for all it's worth. They're always going to want to make as much as they can. But the argument could be said that actually in this day and age currently, knock down the price will probably get you more sales, arguably. Just look at how the numbers do on Steam for like the smaller indie games. Look at how games like, Hollow Knight Silksong do when you're only paying like £20 to £30 instead. You're actually seeing like huge sales on those numbers.
Yeah, you've got to get your marketing right for that though. But I do think people in general are more receptive to that mid-tier pricing than ever before, because of how expensive things are. I've made the same argument with Grand Theft Auto 6, where actually, instead of pushing to 70, 80 quid, or some reports suggesting even maybe going as high as 100, I've went going at 50, then every single person on the planet's buying that game overnight, where if it's double that, a lot of people are going to be hesitant with the money, because that's when you get people more waiting for reviews, or I can't afford that right now, so I'm going to have to save up. If you come in that mid-tier, we're not talking about 30, 40 quid, but maybe 55, 60 quid. People are more inclined to make that impulse purchase.
The thing about GTA 6 that bothers me more than the price so much is the fact that it is going to be, it started off this wave of discless as well now too, as being purely digital. And I think then that's where it starts to leave more of a bitter taste in your mouth, because now we're looking at a higher price point at the same time as like no physical disc there. When we talk about ownership and so on, there's an entire bloody argument to be had there that we've already done to death. But as it currently stands, I do agree with you that I feel like, especially when prices of things are going up, and yes, I know everything is going up, including like the cost to make things and the cost to pay wages, but likewise we need salaries to be able to live our lives.
It's relative. It's all relative. You can.
It's
things are going up
relative.
Things are going up relative to your wage. That's why things feel more expensive, and not just. It's a case of bigger numbers.
It's the same, but again, wages, cost of living, different trajectories is the problem as well. But as it currently stands, it's as a gamer, and I'm sure you feel the same way too. It's like, what's being taken away from us in that sense then? Because you're hiking the prices up, but you're taking something physical away from us. And I will just say, like, for full context of this, I do have a PS5 Pro now without a disc tray, so I don't need the disc. But I still also very much believe in the fact that if I'm not physically owning it, then it's going to cost them less to produce it. Yeah. So at the same time, it should cost me less. I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it should, in theory, you could go, by not producing discs, we can cut costs of manufacturing. I don't think then costs are going to be reflected on the quality of the games or on the price of games. They are going to be profit.
But at the same time, Nintendo have already come out with their new pricing structure for physical and digital for Nintendo is cheaper, so it's doable.
Yeah,
but I'm completely digressing.
Nintendo, just compared to say Sony and Microsoft, Nintendo are a private company, not a publicly traded company. I think.
True.
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but Nintendo also have a report. They have a huge stack of cash in the bank, and a very strong culture around the place that. It feels like Nintendo won't bow to the whims of shareholders as much as Sony and Microsoft.
Not bad for an 1800s
it's kind of
card
like
game company.
If you're buying into Nintendo, you're buying into Nintendo as we say Nintendo is. If you're buying into Sony, you're buying a part of the culture of Sony and the opportunity to choose what direction it goes. There's a very different philosophy in business between two Japanese companies there. But
True.
I must admit, Tom, I've already broken my no digital rule that I set myself. I bought ES8 after I got back from holiday. Yeah, okay. I played it on Stadia back in the day. I came back. Before I went away, I was playing Pragmata. I got to the point where I had only my hard mode playthrough to play. And I played for a couple of hours when I got back from holiday, started my hard mode playthrough. Then I decided to quit on the grounds it was boring.
Wow, okay.
Let me explain that.
Words.
It's because on the hard mode playthrough, on Lunatic difficulty, to give its proper name, you cannot do a New Game Plus run. You have to start clean, which means all your weapons are crap, all your hacking's crap, and all the enemies have ridiculous health bars, and you find yourself fighting a basic enemy for ages.
Right.
So the progress through the game was sluggish, and it's just like...
Yeah.
And I was getting bored, and then I realised in some fights, I was starting to make mistakes, not because I'm bad at the game, because I was just bored. I wasn't paying attention.
Right. Okay.
And so it's the classic thing of, we're just going to give everything bigger health bars and you take more damage. And it's like, well, this is... Yeah. It feels like I can see where the challenge is if you want that. But I was like, I'm already bored a couple of hours into this playthrough. Am I going to sit this out to extend for the entire game and get frustrated because of the hard mode difficulty and the bullshit that comes with it? I'm playing on the Portal. My Portal's been a little bit sketchy, to be honest, recently. I think it's starting to feel its age. Mine gets hammered, though. I don't know whether it's my internet or my Portal or even my PlayStation. All of them maybe getting a bit old and not fully liking each other, so I am getting a lot more like latency issues, input lag, that kind of stuff, which obviously makes a hard mode playthrough even more frustrating when it feels like you're fighting against your hardware, not just the enemies. But ultimately, I was like, I can't be bothered with this. I'm happy. I've done everything other than a hard mode playthrough, and I'm not fond of hard mode playthroughs being trophies anyway. So I was like, I'm not getting the platinum. I've moved away from it. And I was reading the ESRB novel while I was on holiday. So I was like, yeah, I'll play that. So I bought it digitally. This is a man
who is committed to his JRPGs, guys. He's committed.
Yeah. It's just fun...
No, I love it.
It's... What I like about Ace, I've only played 2 of them, both of them on Stadia, Ace 8 and 9, is they're just kind of fun arcadey things that don't take themselves too seriously. And it's like... just a nice refreshing from like some of the more heavier serious games like a Pragmata or something along them lines.
Wow.
But I should also say, just before I went away, I did complete Link's Awakening on the Switch.
Hey.
Well,
good.
When I say complete, I am all but one seashell. And I've 100% of the game before, and it was a fish. It was a fish and seashell, and it was like, I'm going to have to sit there and wait for the right fish to come for me to get it, and it might take a few goes. And it was just something to kill time before I went on holiday. I didn't even expect to finish it, never mind get to like 99% completion.
Nice.
But so I was like, you know what, it's one of them. I've got 100% playthrough already on my Switch. I'm good. I've had my foot. It was just something to bridge the gap between Pragmata and going on holiday. But
sometimes it's nice.
He said, really good game.
Sometimes it's nice to have them.
Enjoying going back to it. Still reading the novel and still enjoying that, actually. But you know what our viewers would enjoy, Tom? You introducing us to the...
Careful for the voice. The graciously gathered Gamer Guild Gazette, a.k.a. The News!
The News! And as always, the news is brought to you by our wonderful guild heroes, which you can join for as little as 99p over on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your support. It means the world to us. Grand Theft Auto 6, Tom. We talked about it briefly already. It's getting an extended look on Netflix, of all places, on the 27th of August.
Yeah.
Interesting move.
Interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
Yeah. What's your kind of take on that? Like, it going to Netflix?
I mean, let's be real, right? Netflix is one of those huge streaming platforms at the moment, you know, fighting against Disney Plus, fighting against your Amazon Prime Video. Obviously, other streaming services are available too. But Netflix has been that one that's been around arguably the longest at this point now. Certainly one of the...
It's the most ubiquitous. When you think of streaming services, you think Netflix.
You've got the heaviest foundation there as well, is what I would say. And obviously they're tied very much into their... I mean, I say they're tied into their gaming divisions too. Not that it's massive, but, you know, fair enough. It's a place to watch it. It's a place to see it. But I'm quite surprised by this. Like, I get it. Ads and things like that. But to be exclusively Netflix, I'm surprised it's not like a YouTube exclusive, to be honest with you.
It premieres on Netflix. I don't know if this will be exclusive to Netflix. It's not, from the reporting, that's not actually confirmed. I personally think this is...
Is...
Yeah. Is it?
It is also going to appear on the official GTA 6 website and on the Rockstar YouTube channel. But we are looking an additional 6 hours later.
Reading from Eurogamer, for other time zones, Netflix premiere of this extended look will take place at 9 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. BST, 9 p.m. CEST. For the later release of this extended look on Rockstar YouTube channel and official GTA website, you're looking at 6 p.m. ET, 2 a.m. BST. So it's a few hours later.
Yes.
It's about 6 hours later. But I actually think
6 hours later.
This is a brilliant piece of marketing from Rockstar. I think it's absolute genius. Simple reason is Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be, it goes beyond the hardcore video game circle. Well beyond it. It's going to probably be the biggest release in all time. A lot of people are going to buy this game, may not engage much on YouTube, or their algorithm isn't going to set up to have gaming stuff come through YouTube. So something like this, they might not see through their YouTube feeds, either not engaging in it or not engaging in similar content, so YouTube pushes it. By going to something like Netflix, a lot of people who buy a console for EA Sports FC and Grand Theft Auto are going to sit down with the partner, load up Netflix, it's going to be a big banner going Grand Theft Auto 6 extended look, and they're going to go, I'll save that for later.
Absolutely.
I think this is going to lead to a lot of engagement for
It'd be interesting
Rockstar
to actually see the numbers on the back of it.
Yeah. This is why I think it's such a genius piece of target for this game. I don't think a lot of
Rockstar can basically do anything at this point, can't they, with it?
It's when you look at the target, the audience for this game, the audience goes beyond like places, people like us. So, where do then people live? They live in places like Netflix a lot. So
maybe it's just the future of this. Maybe it's just the future of where we go with it, because, you are absolutely right. Like, GTA 6 is the kind of thing that you would expect to see the trailer for, the extended look for at something like a Super Bowl and the halftime show and stuff like that. When you're seeing it alongside, like, your Avengers Doomsday trailers, like your initial looks at certain big IP. Yeah, 100%. I'd expect to see GTA 6 alongside it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping then, on that case, that it's literally front and center when you boot the Netflix app up. I would expect with a deal like this, it doesn't matter who you are. You boot that up, you log into Netflix, and you see right on the screen, the splash screen right in front of you, it's going to be GTA 6 extended look.
Yeah, I 100% think it's going to be that. Rockstar have the money to make that happen. Netflix interested in rebranding themselves to be closer to gaming, so it feels like a win-win.
And they're going to make $1 gajillion off this.
I don't see a downside. I do not see a single downside by this as a marketing strategy. They're advertising to people where they are.
Yeah,
that seems perfectly reasonable, to me.
Absolutely.
And I am not going to watch it because I have literally zero interest in buying the game. but there you go. I think it is like a good strategy. I don't think it would work for other games. For example, Final Fantasy VII Revelations. Not sure it's going to have the same effect as something like GTA 6. But I could see EA Sports doing a similar thing.
I could see EA trying this and having nowhere near the impact that GTA 6 is going to have. Yeah. That's the funny thing that I see.
Nothing's going to have the impact of GTA 6. It's a hard comparison, but if you set your expectations rightly, I think advertising on, say, we're going to advertise Madden on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Something like that kind of thing could work quite well.
Potentially. If you find the right audience, the right demographic for it.
Yeah.
But you are right. You are right with Netflix. I think Netflix is the most. I don't want to put a label on this, but it's like the most common man's place. It's the most frequently visited, the most eyes on of your more generic ball and gun type gamer. You most like sit down and just do the basic. They're not into it for your JRPGs. They're not into it for your huge Naughty Dog every single Naughty Dog title, even though they might. But that they are in it for your EA Sports and they are in it for your GTAs. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's good news. I think this is going to.
Yeah.
I think it is probably about time that we got an extended look for GTA 6 because we've had a handful of trailers. and it's still set for release this year, isn't it? So it's like it's about time we get a bit of meat on the bones.
It's 3 months and counting now, Richie. 3 months and counting.
You know what? I'm going to have to actually watch this because we'll have to discuss the content on the podcast.
I feel like this comes with it's got to come with like the official date for it at this point. Yeah. I know pre-orders are already up and running.
I think again that would be a brilliant move as well. Oh, they're really out of date on Netflix. There you go.
Yeah, that's the first place you can see it.
Yeah.
Great. Netflix absolutely bags that then, don't they? They get extra viewership.
And you know what? I can see a tweet and a bit of marketing push from Rockstar. Maybe, because this is Thursday, on Wednesday, or even Tuesday, going, we'll announce the date there, just to guarantee them numbers a bit more.
I think we may already have the date for it, but I think anything extra that comes with it that just announces that little bit more would be great. But yeah. Let's go for it. Go for it.
It's definitely time to get a bit of... Oh, yeah, we do have the date. It's the 19th of November.
19th.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should have checked that before we started recording, but I didn't.
Nah, it's all right.
But yeah.
We live and learn.
We do indeed, but it's one of them where, as a consumer, as a gamer, I'm not interested in Grand Theft Auto 6, so I don't want to I'm not interested in watching this. As a podcast host, it's like, I should watch this.
You have to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on to our next story. I think it was a bit over a year ago now, the Saudi PIF started the process of buying EA.
Boo.
It has went through for $700 million. Oh, no, sorry. It went through for $55 billion.
Yeah, but boo, much bigger number. Boo.
Yeah. And on the back of this, they have also announced they're seeking to make $700 million worth of cuts.
Yeah, I don't like this. This news is not good.
What's the point of the Saudi PIF buying you if you have to make $700 million worth of cuts? What's the point?
Buying a company outright and accruing their debt, and then only having to just then look to make measures to recuperate that debt is ridiculous. When you're investing 55 billion, the sum of 700 million is minimal in that. Like that should be something that you just be able to write off. It is absolutely...
It's a rounding error?
Yeah. It's something that I do not believe for a moment that this benefits anybody except the people with cash in their pockets from the sale. Like the poor people down the line who are going to be potentially losing their jobs over this 700 million debt that needs to be recuperated is, it's such a poor effect on them, and it's only going to affect them. It's not going to affect frickin' Jared Kushner, Trump's whatever he is. It's not going to affect the Saudi prince and his investment fund. This news doesn't sit well with me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I've just done the maths. It's about 1.27%. That 700 million is 1.27% of the 55 billion they've used to buy. It's a leveraged buyout though, so it's messing with stocks and stuff. It's not them just going, here's 55 billion. It's for sports fans out there. This is what the Glazers did with Man United and stuck them in a huge ton of debt rather than using their own money. It feels like these sort of buyouts should be illegal because, we're going to buy the company off you using the company's own debt to fund that.
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
And
surely there's other places you could get that money from. And I mean, I'm going to be a little bit leftist here and say that surely the people at the top should be seeing the salary cuts, not the people at the bottom being cut and losing their jobs, because we're talking about affecting people's livelihoods here.
I had the same thought the other day about something different. It's like, I'd love to walk into a boardroom and go, okay, we need to make $100 million of cuts and go to the board, right? How much are you all earn? Tell me, okay, your base salary is now all capped at 1 million with a maximum of 4 million each in bonuses, depending on performance. That includes and as soon as you make someone redundant for financial reasons, you're no longer entitled to a single penny of that. I've probably just saved you 100 million. Yeah.
It's such a leftist way of looking at it, but
it's not.
It's true.
I think it's actually a capitalist way of looking at it, to be honest, because it's like
okay,
the business. Okay, what's the need of the business? You need to save this money. Where's the biggest expense? If the biggest expense is the board, maybe we're overpaying the board. Because you could then make an argument, if the business is performing poorly, that's the responsibility of the board, therefore you're getting overpaid. That's not left wing. I don't think that's like a leftist view. Okay. I think that's just a rational way of looking at it. I don't think it's left or right. It's like within the frames of capitalism. It's like business needs to make more money. Business, because it's performing poorly. Who's responsible for business performance? The board, don't we, as business? Let's have where's the biggest expense in the company? Wages. Who's got the biggest wages? Like, it's just a rational, how do we cut without impacting people? That's where it comes more left leaning. Is like, how do we cut expenses, business expenses, without affecting people's lives much? Well, the board the more money you earn, the more scope you have to cut before it actually impacts your life in any real tangible way. I guess
it depends on how you approach it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And there can be an argument made that you can still be leftist and capitalist supporting. It doesn't have to necessarily be socialist on that sense.
It's called nuance. You can have nuanced political views.
We digress. Next week when we talk about this on the Gamer Guild Talks Politics and Economics. No, it's one of these that I feel like, again, it's not great news. We know for a long time that this purchase has been going through, and it's an absolutely huge deal. But the Saudi Public Investment Fund does mean that now, with the way that this is going to be operated, there is going to be an impact on the content that is produced by the video game studios within EA.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are worried, mostly from the LGBTQ scene, because when you're talking about games like Mass Effect,
because Saudi,
because of the Saudi views on it, and it's not great. It's not great, to be honest with you. It's not a good look for EA overall. Not that EA have had the best looks going for them, but
I think when you're, I'm a Newcastle United fan, so I'm aware of the Saudi regime, and I've previously referred to them as head choppers. If they don't like you, they will stone you to death, chop your head off. They are some horrible fuckers. Forget the money, forget some of the good they've done with the money. They will fucking stone you to death for being gay. That's how they believe. So let's just put that in there and move on. I think it's a bad look when anyone buys a company and puts that company now into $20 billion worth of debt. But Bioware seems line of companies they want rid of. And I don't know whether this is a good thing, because I don't think Bioware will do well under Saudi. I don't think Bioware have done well under EA, never mind the Saudi-owned EA.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bioware have had very, very difficult times over the past decade or so, really, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a shame, because they have some of the greatest IP, I think, in video game history, but Dragon Age, unfortunately, turned out to didn't go the way people were hoping. And I actually don't think the problems with Dragon Age are anything to do with gender sliders or the art style too much, because they did fix some of that stuff. And I don't think that gender slider actually needs fixing. There's nothing wrong with going into male or female as binary things, having a masculine, feminine slider. Nothing wrong with that in the slightest. It's fantasy in the end of the day. I think that some of the issues with Dragon Age, for me, is they've moved away from what made Origins amazing. Tom, I see you froze for a bit there, but you're back.
Yeah, I see. Same from my end as well. It all froze up.
Yeah, it's fine. I kept talking. I was talking about how the narrative of Dragon Age moved away from what made Origins amazing. Like Dragon Age 2 was a bit of a rushed flop. Inquisition did well, but
all of the negative publicity came out around about things to do with the gender and the wokeness of the game, so to speak. But it's such a shame because it's always been part of Bioware games.
Yeah.
It's not new.
I think that was just came out in a political climate that was very toxic towards this stuff and very vocal, but also it was a minority of people doing that. I think if the game had reviewed better under critics, it may not have had the massive sales that they expected, but it would have done better. As for Mass Effect, Andromeda didn't do well, but then find a cult following later. Yeah. The remasters, from my personal experience, were a broken mess, which is no excuse for a remaster. So I played the first one, my save broke, never played, and had basically no atmosphere at all because the music was broke, it bugged the whole thing, and I never went on to play 2 or 3 for that reason, because I've always intended to go back once fixed, but never did. But they've done, Anthem was a flop. Yeah. Because Anthem was clearly EA pushing BioWare to do something that BioWare weren't comfortable with. It does feel like that BioWare need that reset.
Oh, absolutely. They're in a difficult spot right now. And do you know what? Perhaps there could be a better opportunity for BioWare elsewhere. Like that's the silver lining for it, potentially. But whether that would happen or not, it's difficult to say, really.
And it depends whether they can leave with their IP.
Absolutely.
That's a big question.
So what do you think this does for Mass Effect 5 then?
I've got a feeling production's probably too... Well, I was going to say production's probably too far advanced to be cut, but there again, no, it's not. Like, we've heard of games being cut when they're completely finished and just waiting for a slot to...
Fair games.
Yeah. I think this is probably part of... Mass Effect 5 might be part of the reason EA want to get rid of them.
Right.
If the Saudis have looked at it and for potential political reasons, when we're not happy with the content there, either you have to make massive changes to the content or scrap it, selling it and maintaining the integrity of the game is probably the best way forward.
I think that's the only way forwards if you want to save face on something like this. Like, people will be aware of the echo chamber going on around the news and the vibe of the Saudi buyout, but again, from a shareholder's perspective, they don't give a shit. No, like they don't give a shit. At the end of the day, whatever makes them money. But
they've got $20 billion in debt to clear. If they sell BioWare for, I don't know, tens, maybe 100 million, something, I'm not quite sure, that makes a dent in that.
It's true.
And also gets rid of the ongoing production costs and ongoing like overheads that BioWare have. So it's not just that initial cash influx. It takes that off the outgoings, which then can be back into moving down that debt.
Yeah.
But I don't... So I can see the business reason why, like, when you're in a leverage buyout, you'd want to get rid of one of your biggest sell off something chunky to make a debt and start that process of clearing your debts a bit. These companies always operate in debt anyway, but I just don't know who buys BioWare right now.
I don't know. I just, as it currently stands, my concern is for Mass Effect, my concern is for Dragon Age, my concern is for anything that Respawn creates, especially the Jedi franchise and anything on the Star Wars IP with EA currently holding the license for that. Things that sit close to heart. Let's just put it that way.
Remind me if you can. Was Obsidian one of the ones that Xbox are looking to get rid of, or were the ones they want to keep?
Obsidian were a concern, but I do not remember exactly. No, I can't.
Avowed 2 was cancelled.
Yes.
Oh no, they're working on Fallout. That's it. I knew there was something there. It's one of them. In my head, I kind of link BioWare and Obsidian in the same kind of grouping of companies.
Okay.
I was wondering, if Obsidian were let go from Xbox and BioWare let go from EA, could a merger between the two be something of interest? But I'm just trying to think of who would buy Bioware right now.
Yeah.
I think there would be a very interesting proposition if the industry wasn't consolidating a lot.
Yeah.
Because, they've been in rocket. They feel like a fallen giant that, with the right investment and the right direction, can get back. Like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, you do the right things with them IPs and you're back on top.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. Watch this space.
Yeah, I'm not sure who buys them. That's the problem.
No.
But the timing's bad as well with the Xbox stuff, because there might have been companies interested in it who've now committed to stuff in the Xbox space. But
we're also past that phase of the great buyouts, aren't we? Of where everybody was snatching and grabbing studios. Let's just hope that companies like the Embracer Group keep their hands off BioWare.
Once upon a time, Square Enix would have been interesting, but they were quite happy to get rid of Crystal Dynamics, so it feels like they're very much not interested in that kind of area at the moment.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think in the landscape, it would be nice to allow more studios free reign rather than having to be like in-house studios or under anybody else's umbrella or as part of any of these conglomerate groups. But the finances are just hard to come by currently, so it's difficult. It would be a real shame to lose such a classic group as BioWare, really.
And if BioWare were a money spinner, I think EA would be quite happy to keep them. I feel like the one where they have big projects that take a long time to come out, so need a lot of investment, a lot of steady cash like deposits into their bank in order to get the game over the line. Then you reap the rewards. It's not like they have a games as a service where they've got this steady money ticking away, so they largely look after themselves. Yeah. Or even a huge back catalogue which could be leveraged nowadays. It's annoying because they were pitching things to EA for things like a Dragon Age remakes and stuff, and they kept getting told no. I wonder if the reason is now because the Saudi PIF was in the process of buying EA.
Maybe.
So they didn't want to commit to anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got your Baldur's Gate and your Baldur's Gate 2, obviously. Yeah. Very, very much something that is BioWare. You Neverwinter Nights, your Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. We know, obviously, Knights of the Old Republic is getting a spiritual successor.
You know what? Do the Larian thing. Go fully independent. And you know what? We need someone to make Baldur's Gate 4. Larian now doing it.
It was sticking in the back of my mind. It was there.
Or remakes, a full remake of Baldur's Gate. Like the Baal Spawn trilogy, like 1, 2, and 4 in a Baal as a maybe not as a single game, that'd be too big. But
it's a lot of games.
Imagine a modern remake of them in the vein of like a Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, I think there's room for that.
That'd be awesome.
Talking about remake trilogies, Final Fantasy VII Revelation. The director has Naoki Hamaguchi. Has assured fans that any DLC with the game will be additional content and the story will be concluded within the realms of the base game.
Cool. Okay.
Good. I think that's good news because this was what I would expect to happen, but nowadays it just feel like you do want that clarity. So anything beyond the base game will be new. I think is intended to be new content. I've got a quote from here. The story will be concluded within the main game. We're serious about concluding the series with Final Fantasy VII Revelation, and we're proceeding with development with that goal in mind. If we were to hypothetically release any DLC, we would likely want to create a kind of spin-off focused on specific character that depicts their untold stories. I feel like kind of the Yuffie... Oh, he goes on to say, kind of like what we did with the Yuffie, with Yuffie in Final Fantasy VII Remake, episode Intermission. And I think there is demand for it among fans. So in case we do end up considering making a DLC, this kind of thing is what we're likely attempt to do. Yeah. I like that. Standalone DLC.
I do too.
A standalone DLC, because that's the sort of stuff where, you know what, I can go back to the game and play it if I haven't played for 6 months, because you're not playing the same character, you don't have to remember all the systems. It's like, this is a shorter game based in this game.
I think there's loads to work with there. There's things to do with prequel content, what the characters go on to do, etc. I mean, we had the entire series of like the Vincent Valentine stuff with like Dirge of Cerberus and so on too. Back in the day, you know, it'd be nice to experience Sid's story perhaps a little bit more. It'd be nice, like Sid in his younger days, or even following on from his experience, Barrett as well. The cast is very colourful, and there's a lot to experience in that world that you could look at, really.
Could even do post game content. What happens to this character? What happens to Yuffie after the end of the game?
Yeah, what happens to the Turks? You could even go down the road of like literally having the spin off with the Turks, really.
Well, exactly. Yeah, there's loads of stuff you could do. Well,
mate, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Like, just keep feeding me Final Fantasy VII content. It doesn't have to be continuation of the story. We need an ultimate end to it. And you know, for us older gamers, who've played these RPGs and played Final Fantasy VII and gone through the story, it's nice to know that it is going to conclude as part of the main game, because rightfully it should. Rightfully it should.
What I think is amazing of something like Final Fantasy VII, which is probably at this point an IP unto its own outside of Final Fantasy, is the world building is so good and so in depth. It's like you could just write a completely new story in there.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like different set of characters just happens to be set in Wutai. Or Midgar. You could just go, right, we're just going to tell we've had an idea for a completely new story. Doesn't fully fit in with 7, so it's going to be a standalone thing in the same world. Could even be happening at the same time, or in the future, in the past, whatever. You could do the same thing with something like Final Fantasy X, I've always thought. Like,
you could almost do like the establishing of Shinra Company as well, and their take on the world, like their take on how Mako was discovered and how they go through the process of. There's literally loads to do there. God, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
crazy stuff, crazy experience. Do you know what? I've just had a little thought on the side though. This is a little bit of a sidestep right here, but I don't know if you saw recently at Gen Con they announced the Dungeons and Dragons crossover with World of Warcraft.
I didn't.
That they're releasing an entire D&D and World of Warcraft system, right? So where you can create characters within the World of Warcraft classes and the stories within the worlds within Azeroth and the worlds beyond. They're also doing it with Star Wars as well. So there's an official D&D Star Wars crossover coming out. Can you imagine a D&D setup in the realms of Final Fantasy VII, where you can explore the world, you can create a character within that world? Like, this is what RPGs live for, man. Like, this is somebody spent the time building the world, you know?
In some ways, I almost feel like 7's not. I mean, 7 world building would be amazing. I feel like, from a mechanics point of view, some of the older Final Fantasies where there's more discrete class systems.
Yeah.
Your white mages, your red mages, that kind of thing, would work so well for D&D. Because they've already kind of said, okay, we've got these list of discrete classes, we're going to convert them into, so your white mage is your cleric. And so on. It's like, that's how I've always thought of sometimes, is like
I'm sure there's homebrew systems that deal with stuff like that, but you're right. I'm just thinking about it from like a capitalizing point of view on like what is big and hot right now.
That's true. You probably just create a class system based around the core characters. So
potentially.
So yeah, Cloud is a soldier. So if you pick the soldier class, you're going to play something like a Cloud. Yuffie is a ninja. So similar to more roguelike. Aerith is clearly a white mage.
Tifa is a monk.
Yeah. A martial artist, like, you give them different names. Like,
you could do it. It is doable. Like, there is a viability to it. Sid is a dragoon. You know, he's a spear user.
Red's a druid.
Fucking, Hey, man. I'm just saying, for anybody out there, if anybody works for Wizards of the Coast or has any connections to the D&D core, I'm just saying,
we're happy to work with them.
Ripe for the picking. Doesn't even have to be. You're right. Doesn't even have to be Final Fantasy VII. It could just be Final Fantasy.
You could draw from various different.
Yes.
You build your class system based on various different Final Fantasies. So you could argue someone like Tidus could be similar to like a different kit of the soldier class let's call it the warrior class. Soldier is a kit of the warrior class.
Yes.
Tidus, Blitzball
subclasses.
Yeah.
Blitzball.
But yeah, D&D ultimately it's about fantasy. It's about imagination. You could just do so much stuff with that.
I'm just saying.
I am looking forward to Final Fantasy Revelations.
Yes, very much.
But let's move on to Beast of Reincarnation. We've got the review. Came out on the 4th of August. We have the reviews in, and disappointing, I'd say.
Yeah, it's currently sitting at a 73 on Metacritic, based on critic reviews right now. User score is sitting even lower at a 6.3, says it's currently coming in right now. Not the greatest opening scores.
No, some outlets reviewed it well. So Games rated R+. Beast of Reincarnation is a great ARPG with firm but fair combat and a wide scope for crafting a build to your tastes. Surprisingly, perhaps, it also has a deep and thoughtful story that trusts you to dig into yourself. Let Game Freak henceforth be known as the Beast of Reincarnation Studio. So they're going quite high, but it seems like they're kind of out there on their own. Most outlets, I think, dropping in at 70s or 60s. Eurogamer, give it a 60. Game Freak borrows liberally from the genre's biggest hits, and while it's messy and muddled, it's salvaged by exhilarating combat and traversal, and a surprising amount of soul. I don't know where you sat on this one, because this was one where I was interested in, but waiting on reviews, and unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it's...
My thoughts of what I've seen of Beast of Reincarnation is that initially, right ideas, right ambition, poor execution. I think from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing so far is that it is generally fun and generally beautiful, but it's very surface level. It's very... It doesn't have a serious amount of depth to it, like you would expect of an action RPG. In a sense, it doesn't have a really detailed combat system to the point of different enemy types and different combinations of attacks, like something you would expect from a Dark Souls or a FromSoft game. It's like all of the systems are there, and the ideas behind them are excellent, but the execution of it falls flat to the point that it's boring, that your characters aren't deep enough to really get a feel for. Your combat system becomes repetitive. Your traversal, while it looks flashy, feels great, but again, it's repetitive, and I think that's a problem there. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's Game Freak, and we've said for years about the Pokemon games, and this was their opportunity to show us
to step
we can
out,
damn well do something.
To step
different.
out of their own shadow, and it just doesn't feel like they've managed that. They've produced what I think most critics are saying. It's a fine game. There's nothing really bad about it. A lot of the user scores on Metacritic are complaining about reusing bosses or just kind of things like, the combat's mid, which that's a nothing statement in my opinion, because you're not giving me anything, you're not telling me any information about why the combat isn't what you like. And I think sometimes that's the difference between critics and users.
Yeah,
a user will play the game and go, the combat's mid, and that's like, well, what do you mean by that? What's wrong with it? Like, give me some depth. Like, it doesn't feel, like, I've played games before, like, I'd take it easy. when you play an East, the combat isn't amazing. It's fast-paced, it's fun, but it just feels like there's not much weight to the attacks. You don't feel like you're making contact. But that's the nature of that style of game. It's very arcadey in that sense, and that's offset by the pace of the game, the awesome music, the colourful visuals, so you don't mind, and the combat is quick. You come up with an enemy, and the enemy's done in seconds.
It strikes me as the kind of game that will be someone's... It'll be someone's greatest okay game.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, it scores not brilliantly, but for some people out there, it will be, this is the shit. Like, this is the game for that person. And that's okay. We don't have to live in a world of, you know, high 90s, mid 90s, high 80s bangers. No. But at the same time, again, I think we have to look at where Game Freak stand as a studio. They've taken a lot of ideas from successful games recently, from things like Sekiro, from things like Clair Obscur, from things like, you look at the aesthetic of the game and I see like inspiration of things like The Last of Us, you know, there's that very much sort of God of War as well, the elements of those games. But they've tried to execute their own take on it, and it's come out less of a, this is our hot take on it, and more of a copy and paste. Yeah. And I think that's where it falls.
I think that seems to be it. I'm going to look, I've went to Push Square, just reading the bullet points of their pros and cons that they have at the end. They give it a 7 out of 10. Pros: fun, engaging combat, parries feel satisfying, powerful, unique traversal mechanics, some good environment, rewarding progression. Cons: kind of lackluster story, difficulty can feel a bit uneven, occasional performance dips, some visual rough edges. I feel like if you're going to largely copy and paste the combat system from a million different Souls-like games and put effectively new skin over it, you got to have that well-built new story right.
Yeah.
Because it's not...
Absolutely.
That's why people, I think, love things like Elden Ring and Dark Souls. Yeah, they love that difficult combat and the feel of that combat. I've never vibed with it, but I get why people do. But it's the story and the world building that people... That's what hooks people in. You go for the hard difficulty, you stay for the world.
Yeah.
And it feels like it feels like they just took stuff from the genre, chucked it in, and then not quite got that world building right.
The irony behind this is
these are the Pokemon guys.
These are the Pokemon guys, and again, you just think like, you just think of what the IP has, like what IP they have available to them, and it's very much something that it's just so stereotypical that they've fallen down at the same hurdle as the last few Pokemon games. Again, things like the graphical fidelity and performance issues. Like, it's a great looking game, but it performs poorly in certain areas, or it looks shit in certain areas.
I feel like Game Freak escaped some of that criticism because of the Switch. It's like, yes, we've tried to make a game that isn't suitable for the hardware. Although then you look at things like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and go, well, yes, as Tears of the Kingdom, there is a few performance issues, same with Breath of the Wild, but largely it's pretty solid. Probably 30 frames per second, let's be fair, on the Switch. But it's a solid playable experience, with especially Scarlet and Violet when they came out. It's like, this is an unplayable mess. Yeah. It's like, you bit off more than you could chew there. This does not have the same credit in the bank there, because we're talking about PS5 game, Xbox Series X game, Switch 2 game? I'm not sure about Switch 2. I've seen no reviews for Switch 2, but yeah.
No. I just want to read quickly from Polygon's pending review at the moment. This is by Giovanni Colantonio. He writes in there, it's just this line absolutely cracks me up. It says, Beast of Reincarnation isn't an act of creative rebirth so much as it is one of conformity. Game Freak and its partners do their best to mimic respected games to create a, quote, now that's what I call action RPGs, end quote. And it is. It's been like, oh, we like that game, we like that game, we like this system from that game, we like that from this game. Mash it together. Beast of Reincarnation, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I want to bring in Kleb Skewer here, because Kleb Skewer is technically a Souls-like game. But what they've done is they've come up with a concept of the game and borrowed from the genre where it suited their vision. Rather than going, we are going to make a Dark Souls game, now what is our version of a Dark Souls game going to be? And I'm getting the feeling that this is the same problem approached from two different directions. Kleb Skewer, because they were focused on making their vision of a game, I just borrowed mechanics where it suited the game. Like, okay, we're making a turn-based game. How do we make a turn-based game, not just a basic turn-based game? What if we borrow from the Souls-like genre and started adding parries and dodges in? How does that work? Okay, we'll try around that. Oh, this is actually a fun battle system, because it's kind of a hybrid between turn-based and real-time. It is a turn-based game with real-time elements. From what I'm reading with Beast Incarnation, it is just you might as well play Dark Souls with a different skin over it.
You might as well play Ghost of Yotei with the female protagonist with animal sidekick.
Yeah. So
you could repeat that sentence with any of the different systems within the game, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that you could say, oh, I'd rather just play this game instead, or I'd rather just play that game instead that does this particular mechanic.
A couple of the reviews even point out the traversal. It's got unique traversal mechanics, but it feels like they're just used in the same way repeatedly, rather than. Oddly enough, reminds me of the spinner from Zelda Twilight Princess. He's a potentially cool traversal mechanic that is used in like probably 2 locations in the overworld and in pretty much the dungeon you find it in, and then it is a completely redundant item. It's like, it looks flashy and cool. It's like, yeah, but it's not used. You've not explored that mechanic.
As it stands, reviews are leaning slightly more positive than mixed, but
it's worth pointing out it's only it's a £50 game, so it's not a full price game. So, and I'd say, it's solid if you're into the genre and you're looking for something new to play. It's probably worth a pick up. Based on the reviews, but don't expect
it could be your greatest game of all time.
Yeah, exactly. I think this could find a cult following, and it may end up selling well. And this might I hope this is one of them situations where this is the lackluster first entry that spawns the franchise. Where, okay, we've learned from our mistakes, but we believe in the vision of what this game could be. So the next entry, we're going to fix the mistakes, take it in a new direction, really elevate it. You know, think like the difference between, say, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. There's a massive step up there because they improved on their vision. Yeah, well, that's what iteration is supposed to be about, isn't it? It's supposed to be improvements where things could be improved. So, personally, as a fan of Pokemon games and not a fan of Soulsborne games, I hope they try something different and go maybe not full on action RPG. If you want to go in the RPG realm, make it less Souls-like, a bit more approachable for people who don't like that crushing difficulty. Because not every game needs to be Souls-like in the RPG space right now. No. Let's move on to The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. We have an ESRB rating, and Nintendo have reconfirmed it for 2026, which seems weird that they needed to do this, but they have. So ESRB rating is listed for everyone 10+. But these actually, people have noticed that part of the ESRB rating compared to the original version, the 3DS version, is removed suggestive themes. Nice. So there's some discussion, is the Great Fairy getting a redesign? Yeah. And you know what? Fine. That's where immediately my mind goes to as well. Fine. In hindsight, maybe the Great Fairy design was a bit inappropriate. Yeah. And with better visuals, that becomes more the case. So but it may be one of them we've had to change that for the sake of retaining our rating. But it's a smaller story. Nintendo is a family company, small indie company. It's like, it's why I was on holiday. It's like I heard, the Nintendo Direct, fantastic. We're here about Ocarina, not Fire Emblem. It's like, fine.
Yeah.
Fine, do your Fire Emblem thing. I'll wait. I just want to see the bloody game.
I know, that's it really. If they're saying it's coming out this year,
it's August.
My money's on holidays. My money's Christmas time. It's going to be one of those late releases. I mean, it's bold, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo release at the same time as GTA 6 or thereabouts.
Yeah. There was an Amiibo leak actually for a Zelda Amiibo link that that comes out in November. So there's a lot of rumors.
Man!
And to be honest, I think
go on, Nintendo.
I kind of believe this because I think Nintendo do not give a shit about Grand Theft Auto 6.
No, of course they don't.
And it's Ocarina of Time. If any game can go up against Grand Theft Auto 6 and not lose its audience, it's Ocarina of Time.
Absolutely. I've said to my wife already that this is a game that I am getting not only one copy, but I'm also planning on buying a second copy to keep it sealed. Just because it's Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
You know, this is a game. Like this is the one that's getting you a Switch too, right, Richie?
Yes. That's what I've been saying. I was saying since the Switch 2 came out, I was in the process of selling my house. I can't justify buying it until my house is sold. Once my house is sold, it's moved on to, I need that killer app, the one that I definitely want to play, like day and date, to make me pull the trigger. Things like Star Fox, I'm buying that at some point. Donkey Kong, I'm buying that at some point. Pokemon Legends ZA, I'm buying that at some point. That could have been it. ZA could have been the one, but my house didn't sell in time. But Ocarina of Time's like, I am in a financial position where I can justify buying a Switch.
Yeah.
The money's in the bank.
So
it's like,
the irony
Ocarina of
is,
Time is one of my favourite games of all time. I am buying this game.
Absolutely. And like I said, the irony of that is that all of those games that were aforementioned are all going to be on sale by the point that this comes out as well. So
it's Nintendo, so that's debatable, but yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep it. You are right.
Yeah.
You are right. Full price still 10 years down the line. But yeah, absolutely. These are games. You know, this is a system selling game without a doubt.
And you know what? I want to see what there's going to be an Ocarina of Time Switch.
Yeah,
they'd be stupid not to. I have the Tears of the Kingdom one.
Yeah.
Which is turned on. Actually, technically, that was my partner's the Switch OLED version because she bought a Switch, and then I give my Switch to my nephew, and we kept her nice OLED Zelda one.
I mean, it's OLED. You would.
Yeah.
You wouldn't give that away.
Yeah, so it's like I want to see what an Ocarina of Time Switch looks like because that's the what. If as long as I look and go, oh, God, that's hideous. That's the one I'm buying.
Yeah.
With the game,
I can see it.
There's going to be a bundle with a Switch 2 Ocarina of Time version. There's going to be that bundle. There might even be a third game bundled in there or something. I don't know. I just Nintendo, give me the details.
Absolutely.
Give me. You know what I think it might be because they had a Fire Emblem Direct planned. I think they needed to do that. Then maybe give it a bit of time. I think we'll get an Ocarina of Time Direct next month.
Has to be.
And
has to be.
They'll go into detail about the game. You'll get the release date, and they'll tell you about the hardware that's coming out with it, and probably the amiibos. There's your direct, and then pre-orders will be up shortly after. But right now, I feel it's like they need to give Fire Emblem its moment. When does Fire Emblem come out? Actually,
October.
I hope they don't wait till it comes out. They potentially could wait till Fire Emblem's out, though.
Yeah. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, yeah?
Yeah. Fortune's Weave.
17th of September.
Yeah, okay. I think we could see back end of September an Ocarina of Time. Good. Yeah. Back end of September. Pre-orders go
September
probably
direct.
October. Either September, October. Might be start of October with the game coming out mid-November. Happy birthday, me.
Wow.
The stars are aligning, Tom.
We're in a timeline. We're in the timeline where Ocarina of Time is actually going to come out the same time as GTA 6.
Yeah. And there's a clear...
It's happening, guys. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
And you know what? Both games are going to do incredibly well.
Yeah. It's going to be an expensive holiday season for parents.
But I feel like it's one of them, though. Ocarina of Time, it's big enough and the IP is strong enough to go up against GTA 6. It's going to have its sales cut a bit on launch, but Nintendo will know that, and they'll also go, it's Ocarina of Time, people will pick up later, and we'll just maintain the price. So you're not going to get the same huge spike, but it'll just be it'll have a larger floor than the biggest peak, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that their marketing team and their business team are very much aware of that.
Nintendo,
forecasting.
They know what they're doing. They're the most successful video game company of all time. One of the most successful companies of all time, arguably. They own rights in the biggest IP of all time in Pokemon.
Yeah.
But talking about Nintendo's other IPs, Mario Sunshine has finally come to the Switch Online. Another reason to buy a Switch. I've never played Sunshine.
No, Sunshine is one that went by me as well, actually. So I'm quite keen. I'm quite keen on this one because I think this is one that I could get my son into as his first 3D
Your sunshine
Mario.
into.
My sunshine into, absolutely. I think he could enjoy it. It's whimsical. It was different with the water mechanics and so on. Yeah.
It's Nintendo doing what Nintendo do. We're not going to make just another basic Mario platformer. We did that with 64. How do we iterate? Oh, let's give Mario a water gun.
Let us give him a water gun. What are you going to do?
But the water gun could also be a jetpack. It's like, yep, that's fun.
Good.
But,
cool. Nah,
you know what?
It's a nice, simple story. Yeah.
Over the last year or so, the way the industry's shaping up, especially since the digital-only news from Sony, it's really pushed me back into Nintendo's arms.
I know.
Ocarina of Time coming out, the Switch 2 doing well. The GameCube stuff on the Switch 2, so I'd never had a GameCube, so there's a whole host of all the titles I'd love to play. Nintendo just at the moment feel like they're doing things right.
Absolutely.
By literally just doing what they've always done. That's the thing. Next story I think we'll go to. We do have a story about Sony, but let's talk about the Series S first. Because talking about pushing me back into Nintendo's arms.
I just highlighted that in the doc because I was just like, you've got perfect segue.
Yeah, I saw you do it.
Other things.
I saw you do it. It's like, so Microsoft have confirmed an increase in price for the Xbox Series S. So in the UK, the 512GB model, which is probably the one most people have, that's the one I have, has been increased by £130 or €150. The 1TB model is raised by £170, €200, which takes the price in the UK for the 512 version to up to £429. And the 1TB up to 520. The similar price has actually gone up for the Series X as well. But what's the price of Switch 2 price? Let's have a look. So the Switch 2 price from Argos, because it's the first one, so it's £380. A Series S, which is probably, I'd have to look at the specs side by side, but less powerful than the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Is more expensive.
Yeah.
And it feels way more dated. It's a current gen console, which feels like a last gen console, is more expensive than a current gen console, which came out, a year and a half ago? 2 years?
Yeah. It's unreal that we're in this world where this is the case, where storage and memory prices have increased to the point of pushing the consoles up by this amount. But it's no secret that Xbox has already been struggling massively to sell these consoles. This has been arguably the worst generation for Xbox in their sales. I'm pretty sure they're third in the competition of the big three. And there was the whole thing with Walmart literally discounting Xboxes just to clear stock before, and now with these price increases, damn, that is shooting them in the foot massively.
Well, I'm kind of wondering, do you think this is the winding down production of the Series S and X? Because Helix is probably 2028. And if they're not selling, it means they'll probably have stock to sell. Do you think they're increasing the price to offset the development costs of Helix and the potential? Because they've got the stock, they need to shift it. But typically, in business, you got a lot of stock you want shifting, you drop the price.
You go the other way.
Do you think they're doing it the other way because they know the stock will eventually slowly go, so they want to make as much money as they possibly can? It's just...
But they're not going to.
No.
They're not going to make the money because nobody is going to buy at this price point. People are already not buying Xboxes.
So the 512 Series S, which is the entry level to this generation, as a game full stop, was £300, and there's been previous price hikes before this. It's going up to 100 by 129 quid. It's a big jump.
Yeah.
It's almost a 50% price increase for something that wasn't selling, and that's something that I don't think anyone in the right mind would be buying a Series S right now.
No, the whole point when these consoles, when this generation first came out, was they wanted to be able to have that entry point console for people who were struggling to get in but wanted to get into the ecosystem. And that was the whole purpose of the 512 Series S unit when it first came out. And obviously, there have been issues down the line to do with, the game's performance and all the games coming to Xbox that needed to be able to perform on both of them and perform well, which they didn't ultimately. But to see that mentality, not mentality, but sort of like that whole mantra of why the system exists is just being turned around. I get it, the company needs to make money and they've had a huge decline already in sales, but this is not the right action to take.
But are they going to make money by doing this?
I think this is them looking to be like, if we sell it at this price, we will make a marginal profit. If break even.
But they're probably banking on the current sales trends maintaining. If the sales people go, it's no longer worth. If you're someone who wants to get into gaming now in the modern generation, you're looking at the Series S versus the Switch 2. This is where I think the Switch 2 definitely comes into play. It's like, you're better off buying Switch 2. Switch 2 is starting to get a lot of the third-party games from this current generation. Or I'd argue, even if you're like, I'm on a budget, I want to get into modern games, I haven't played in a long time, I go, buy PS4. The PS4 libraries are awesome. Like, buy PS4 as the entry level, like, to get into modern gaming. The games hold up.
We have to be real with this. Like, I look at that and I really don't see that. If that is genuinely the business team's perspective on it, then that is short-sighted. Because, upping the prices there to be able to try to make some of that back or be able to break even on the cost of it, that's not going to happen. Like, it's just not good news. This is bad. This is bad. This just gives me the ick, mate. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't get it. Like, I don't know who the Series S is for at this price point.
No.
At €500, because it's a nice rounded number. Who's it for? But there again, the Series X is now going to be €750.
It's not for your sister who has 2 kids. It's not for your cousin who is, has just turned 12 and wants to get a new console. It's not affordable. I'm sorry, but it just is not. They'd
almost be better off turning around and go, look, because of the problems with AI, just straight call it out properly, just to give yourself a bit of credibility. And storage, the price of storage keeps going through the roof. We're going to make a Series X at 512, so you will get the same console for the same price. You'll just have less storage.
Yeah, you'll have to just keep.
This is the only way we can maintain the price point. So the 1 terabyte is going to go up. Production costs can't do it. The components, there's nothing we can do about that. To stay profitable, we have to do it. But we're going to introduce into the market a low entry Series X. At 512, you won't be able to store as many games, but it's going to be the same. All the other hardware is going to be exactly the same, and we're going to maintain the price point. But there again, that's another
I agree with that, and I know. I hope it's a shame because I imagine that what they've looked at from there is, we're going to have to change the production line, when literally all it is just swapping the storage unit on the production line.
You know what? They haven't, talking about the different SKUs, they haven't helped themselves. They've got 4 active SKUs in the console market. No. Series S, 512 and 1 terabyte. Series X, digital and disc. Yeah. That's a lot of different production lines.
Realistically, what price would you put a Series X at 512? Because if you look at the difference between the S at 512 and 1 terabyte, you're looking at about 90 quid difference there. So if you were to drop that, it's still going to be about 550 quid, 560 quid.
Yeah, I would try my hardest to keep it under that 500, because it's
under 500.
500 feels like one of them points where people start making the decisions differently when it goes over it or under.
It's tough because we also know that it's no secret that these companies also take losses on consoles anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
I agree with you. Like it's a huge price jump at what is not the best time for Nintendo. Not Nintendo with Xbox. I'm doing the other thing now.
Yeah,
but Christ, yeah.
All I can say is Helix. I don't know what Helix needs to be to bring this back for Xbox. Because price point, the way things are going, I think it's going to be a flop on the gate. Even if it's the most powerful, okay, you don't need to buy another console in the next 20 years, it's going to be that awesome. I think price point's still going to be prohibitive. Because it's not quality of console that's the issue at the moment, it's price.
Yeah, it's the most... Like we've talked about it before, it's diminishing returns at this point with what we're actually getting from the next generation. But this is the most this next generation, whatever it looks like, it currently I have the least amount of hype for, because I think we all know that the price is going to be ridiculous, and I think we all know that the return on investment for it is not going to be fantastic unless someone comes out with something that is like a shit hot feature that we're waiting for, and that just hasn't been talked about yet.
Yeah. Talking about Xbox trying to cut costs, Halo Campaign Evolved launched, didn't do as well as we hoped, but I think this is one where it's got a big trail rather than a massive spike anyway, because it's a remake. It's a remake of an old game, so people will pick it up when they get a chance. Halo Studios. This news isn't official yet, but the one of the producers over at Halo Studios, Nick Treitman, has announced that he is leaving. He is being made redundant. So we know that Microsoft were going to do further redundancies after they already cut 1,600 jobs. They said they're going to do another 1,600. It feels like Halo Studios is next in line to see some serious cuts.
And that's so sad for what it is.
Yeah.
Because, they've remade and reinvigorated the Xbox title.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox. It's the iconic Xbox game, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But if you were working from Xbox in any capacity as in one of the subsidiaries, you'd be scared to finish a project.
Yeah.
So if the project's finished, they go, you're not currently working on anything, bye. We need to make cuts. You're not currently working on anything.
Too true.
But I think this is where I think big business goes wrong very quickly, because the threat of 1,600 layoffs means people working on these games are going to immediately start looking for new jobs because they want to secure their future, because they've got families to feed, mortgages to pay. Yep. So why wouldn't you? Which means you're going to lose your good staff, the ones that you'd rather keep. And then you end up cutting good staff because their projects come to an end, instead of giving the time and space to actually start up the next move on to the next thing, they're easier to get rid of. So you end up, it's very impersonal. This is where I don't like big businesses. Like, it feels, from someone who's used to working in small business, it feels lazy to me.
Yes.
Like, you're not investigating who you're going to lay off. You're not getting rid of the people who are expendable. You're just cutting. You're hacking and slashing with a blindfold on and hoping for the best. Yeah. And I think that is the quickest way to destroy a business.
It's sad times. It's very sad times when it comes to this.
Yeah.
And, we can only just hope for like a cleaner, like a brighter future in the gaming industry.
I hope the talent they're losing stay in the gaming industry to continue making awesome projects and don't look for alternative industries. But it is what it is.
Absolutely.
At least they're not bringing more ads to PlayStation like Sony are.
Oh wait.
I crammed all the crappy news at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to dwell on it too long. So Sony may be looking at, reading from Push Square, Sony may be looking at ways to incorporate ads from non-endemic brands into its console as the company increasingly looks to maximise profits. So they already put in advertisement for games on your PlayStation Home thing, but now they're looking at potentially non-gaming industries. Push Square name Coca-Cola and McDonald's as examples.
Yay, gamers, let's advertise McDonald's, Mountain Dew, Domino's, let's fucking go Cheetos, Doritos, get them all on there.
And this speculation has come from Sony advertising a role for a director of client partnerships who is responsible for partnering with major brands and selling emerging ad opportunities.
Right. Okay.
So
the thing is,
go on.
it's questionably inevitable, right? Because we have no control over that. Will it piss us off? Absolutely. Of course it will. What will they do? They'll do it anyway, and they'll probably put something into PS Plus that says something like you can have an ad-free tier as part of
ad-free home screen is now part of PS Plus.
And it won't even be essentials. It'll be like premium. It'll be something slightly higher than your basic.
Yeah.
What I will say is just a personal side note. It's not Sony related, but I did notice on my my Google Chromecast, so my Google TV, that they've started feeding ads onto the main screen there as well. So just underneath where you've got your apps and you've got your shows and stuff, they've now started introducing ads there too. So it's not, again, something that is unheard of.
We live in a bad timeline. It's like everything is advertisement. Like the amount of advertisement people suffer from a daily basis. I don't think it's even I can't see how it's beneficial for companies because you get so burnt out on seeing adverts, you don't pay attention to them.
This is true. Ad space is weird these days, isn't it? It's more psychological than anything else.
If I see in this thing's like if I see an ad on the Facebook Marketplace for a brand, I'm immediately incredibly skeptical. Because I assume it's going to be a cheap Chinese piece of shite, where it actually could be a small company based in the UK just trying to find an audience for their product, where I just assume it's going to be drop shipping.
I am not going to click on a McDonald's ad in PlayStation's home screen.
But they don't need you to click, though. The idea is psychological. It's to get you thinking about buying a Big Mac. And now I want some chicken nuggets.
Sorry, I've just opened the McDonald's app on my phone.
You're checking your credit, aren't you? What can I get for free at the moment?
Well, yeah, how many points have I got on my McDonald's account? What can I get? Fuck them. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. This is the system that they've created. We're stuck in it. God damn it.
Even if you're conscious of it, because I am conscious of it, it still gets you. What? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, what the fuck do you mean hash browns are unavailable? It's because it's 11 o'clock. I'll let you off. I've had my breakfast anyway.
Man. Oh, man. All honestly.
Let's round out the show with Lego are making a Lego PlayStation 1. And to celebrate it, they're giving a Lego Astrobot figure. Now, I bring this up.
We talked about this pre-show, okay, guys? Just bear with us here.
So there's a promo code you can get to gift with purchase for 72306 PlayStation, which I'm guessing is the Lego internal code. If you use the promo code, I think it is BrickTap.
Yep.
Yeah, you will get a little Astrobot figure, just a Lego Astrobot, not a Lego Astrobot like the R2-D2 behind me, but
minifig.
Yeah, a minifigure. But how awesome would an actual Lego Astrobot be?
Yeah, and this is where you're going to now like have the discussion because as a father of a 5-year-old boy who's very much into his gaming at the moment, Josh loves Astrobot, and he loves Lego. And we've seen that Lego have already teamed up with Nintendo in terms of creating, they've got their consoles, they've got their entire Mario range, they've got the Pokemon range that is coming out now as well. Like, there is a prime opportunity here for Sony to develop and work with Lego to create Astrobot sets. And I genuinely think it has the opportunity to help Sony create that mascot.
Was there Horizon sets before?
Yes, there were Horizon sets, obviously, because we had Lego Horizon Adventures as well.
So there's already precedent there for Sony to do this. Astrobot would work so well.
There are other, you think of the aesthetic of the game. Insert footage here from Astrobot, because it's literally like you could take the aesthetic of any of the Astrobot areas, any of the worlds that you visit, any of the planets in Astrobot, any of the systems inside Astro's playroom, and you could create that aesthetic. Lots of white bricks mixed in with the blue and the silver, lots of grassy bits to go on top, the enemies. You could literally create an entire, even the chunky headed system that you get with the Mario blocks or the Pokemon blocks. You could still create that aesthetic for Astrobot because it actually kind of lends itself quite nicely to it.
It does.
And
it's also a gateway to, because Astrobot already is a gateway to all of Sony's IP.
Fuck, absolutely, man. Like, you could then get the Astrobot, again, God of War themed set, or the Astrobot Final Fantasy themed, or the Astrobot Uncharted set. There's so much potential there from a toy perspective to sell as well.
It seems like a match made in heaven more than the PlayStation 1 console. I do want to quickly correct myself though. Bricktap is the website that was reporting on this, where I was looking through Push Square to get this information, and it is just a free in purchase with the PS1. You just get the free Astrobot, which I think we might be onto something. This might be them teasing an actual Astrobot set, because why would you put Astrobot in with the PS1?
Yeah,
I suppose Crash Bandicoot is owned by Xbox, so Astrobot came about in PS3. I want to say maybe even 4.
Yeah,
probably 4.
because it was 4 because of the VR.
Yeah.
So you had Astro the rescue mission. You had Astro's. Yes, it was 4.
I feel like this is PlayStation potentially doubling down on Astrobot as their console mascot.
The thing is, the only thing this does for me right now is makes me want to buy the Lego PlayStation just because of the Astrobot minifigure.
I mean, you can. It'll cost you, I don't have the pounds in front of me, so 160 euros.
160 euros.
It's expensive for one figure.
Yeah, you're probably talking 135 quid, something along. It's probably 139.99, I imagine. We always get shafted with these things.
We do, yeah.
So.
But it's nice to see a positive news story and something that is be cool. And we like to round out this show every single week with this day in video game history, starting on August the 8th. Anything jumping out at you?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. There's quite a few bangers on this day, to be honest with you. We had 20 years ago, Dead Rising on the Xbox 360. The absolute, maniacal cut, just mowing through zombies with the most random weapons, lawnmowers, chainsaws on one end, baseball bats on the other. And even more recently, 13 years ago, Papers, Please. Papers, Please is such, again, a lynch, such a milestone in indie development. Yeah,
Game Maker's Toolkit always talk about Papers, Please as one of their favourite games, one of the most inventive games. That's where I know it from.
Absolutely.
Cat Quest.
Crazy.
I've never played Cat Quest. But they're meant to be fun.
Do you know, I've dabbled with it with Josh. It's really simple, light-hearted, action RPG, very simple quest-based system, open world to an extent, and just equipping items on top. It's so basic, so simple. Even then, looking further down the line, 2 years ago was the official release of the Pokemon TCG Pocket game for Android.
Which
as well,
I played that for quite a while. It's only a few months ago I got burnt out on this. It got too big, and you know when a meta starts taking over something and makes it 99% of everything in the game is now not viable. It's like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Like,
I never really got into like the combat side of it. I found it's just ripping packs, ripping packs.
I enjoyed the collectathon nature of it with it being Pokemon, but eventually got to the point where I had several decks. I was on the free version, but I had several decks that weren't finished, and I was just not getting the cards I needed to close things out. And it's like,
frustrating.
When you play every single day for a couple of weeks and open your packs every single day, and you do all when they brought in the new like single player missions, you do all of them and you open packs and for multiple weeks, like, I haven't got a new card in weeks. It's like, I'm bored.
Absolutely. But
1 year ago,
one last shout out as well, actually, for 12 years ago. I can't believe I missed it, to be honest with you. It's a game that spawned an entire franchise and an entire obsession for young children. It's Five Nights at Freddy's, man. We've had movies, books, the games, Christ, everything.
Kids, it took over the internet at one point.
It took over everything. I played the first one.
I've played one of them on stream. I can't remember.
I quickly stopped.
The one I played on stream it wasn't like a point and click, more adventure horror thing. It was more of an action thing, which not terrible game. Didn't do enough for me to actually go, I want to keep playing this, because I wasn't that invested, but better than I was expecting. And lastly, 1 year ago today, Mafia the Old Country, a game I am still yet to play. It's on my list of things I want to play. I can't believe it's been a year. But
we waited the longest time for Stadia at one point, didn't we?
For the original Mafias,
The original Mafias.
They announced that's the thing, is because they announced them as well. That was the problem.
Yes.
But that is all we have time for you this week. If you've liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you're kept in the loop of all amazing content here at GamerGuildTV. If you'd like to buy t-shirts, and the one I am wearing, you can over on the store. Links are all in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you in the Discord. My name's been Richie.
I've been Tom.
GG everyone. Goodbye.
GG.